Hello everyone, it's Marie here from Pebbly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be making a card with the Timeless Tropical Bundle. This is a beautiful cling mount stamp, as you can see, just gorgeous. And it comes with the In the Tropics dies. We'll be using a lot of these dies today, so be warned. But yeah, we're going to have fun with this card. We're going to do a lot of ink blending, which is something you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, know that I love doing. And I'm also going to be using the Corrugated 3D folder. I just love this. So to start this project, you will need thick Whisper White cardstock. This is an A6 card base, so basically it's half an A4 and I've scored it in half again, and that makes an A6 card base. So I'm just going to fold and burnish the score line. Then I've got a piece of white Whisper White cardstock. This just has a very, very thin border right round. Now, the border, it's about 1/8 of an inch off the card base, so it's quite close together. Then I've got some scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock. That is all you will need. But you will need a whole heap of inks. So I've got all these inks here, which I will go through as we go along, so I don't waste your time. So to start off with, we're going to ink blend the front panel of the card. So I'll just grab my craft sheet, and I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to quickly grab it because I forgot to grab that before I started. I've prepared everything else but that. So here's my craft sheet. It's a silicone sheet, I presume, and it's heat resistant, and also it is also non-stick, so that's really handy. I'm going to use my beloved makeup brushes. I'm going to use the largest brushes that I have. I'll use this one here. I think I've lost a brush. I might have lost a brush from somewhere because I had 2 of these, unless I threw one out by accident. Just hold on one second, I've got to find it. I thought I had lost a brush, and I think I have, but I don't know where it's gone to. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. The colours we're going to use on this front panel is Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, and we're going to use some Balmy Blue. So I'm going to start off with the Balmy Blue first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just ink blend all of this, and then I'll just put some music. So just enjoy. Finished ink blending this, and what I'm going to do is this is going to go over the top of that, and then we're going to emboss it, but we'll leave it there for the time being. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my Stamparatus, and we're going to start doing some stamping. And I'm just going to bring out the stamp set, and we're going to stamp these 3 images here, and we're going to do some strategic stamping with this, and using the Stamparatus is really, really helpful with this. So we'll start off with the frangipani looking stamp. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a spare piece of cardstock there, and I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight ink pad, and I'm going to grab one of my sponge daubers, and I've just got to find where my Daffodil Delight one is, and I don't think I have it. I'll have to make one up. Yep. So I'll just go and grab a fresh dauber and I'll be back. Okay, so I've just got a fresh dauber. So I've got my my Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to stamp right round. And I really like using a sponge dauber when I am stamping the image because it helps you to build up colour. And then what I'm going to do is bring out my pineapple punch ink, and I'm going to ink that up, the centre of it, with pineapple punch, which is, just bear with me for one moment. I had someone come to our front door. Anyway, I've got some pineapple punch, so I've got the sponge dauber and I'm just going to ink it up, and I'm just going to concentrate that more so in the middle, like that, and then give it a little bit more colour. And that's why I like the sponge daubers, because it allows you to build up colour, and then you go over it again with your Stamparatus. So as you can see here, that looks really lovely. So that's a frangipani. It's a beautiful flower. Love it. So the next image I'm going to go to is the hibiscus flower, which is that one over here. I'm just going to pop this in here, if I can get it right. So that goes there like that. Right, so I get the hibiscus, and I'm going to do the same again, where I'm going to use the sponge daubers for colour. So when you have that stamen part there, I'm going to ink that up in pineapple punch. So I'll grab that again and just ink that part up. You can also use your markers to be a little bit more precise, but I'm just going to use the sponge daubers, and the colours can just blend together, which is fine by me, like that. And then I'm going to blend it again, and we're going to use a combination of watercolour pencils as well as this, and I think that will do on that part. Okay, so it's a little bit more intense, if you can see that. That's a bit more yellow. Then I'm going to clean it, that way I don't contaminate colours, and I'm going to grab my lovely lipstick sponge dauber. I've just got it, there it is. Just got to get it out of my little case there. And then I can keep these forever. Now, this may already have some colour on there, but I will ink it up just the same. And I'm just going to concentrate more so in the middle part there of the image, and just away from that stamen part as much as possible. And then I'll stamp over it. And that looks absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, and it doesn't matter if I've got a bit of the lovely lipstick on other parts. This is good because then that way it kind of blends. Next thing I'm going to get is Calypso Coral. I'm going to wipe this off so I don't contaminate colours. And we can always go back. And I've just got to see here if I've got a Calypso Coral, and I don't. So I'll just grab a new sponge dauber. It's a colour I actually don't use very often, but I'd better make sure. No. No. Okay. So I'm just going to ink that up now all around the edges. Okay. So that's what that looks like inked up. I'm going to actually use my watercolour pencils as well to fill in the colours a little bit and make it look more natural. So that's the hibiscus done. Then I'm going to stamp a couple of these leaves as well. So I'll just put this in here. Grab the leaf. I'm going to sponge that as well. So for this one, I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz. So I've just got to grab that now out of here, and I can see it. That's Granny Apple. Oh, that's Pear Pizzazz, and I am going to use Granny Apple Green as well. So we'll start off with the Granny Apple Green because it's the lighter colour. Use my sponge dauber. Sorry, I'm making noise with that. And we'll be stamping on this a couple of times, so a little bit more of the Granny Apple Green. Okay, then I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz ink. Give that a bit of a wipe. Use the Pear Pizzazz. And because it's a dark green, I'm just going to ink up a little bit of the middle there and a bit of the edges. Just a bit more intense. And it gives a nice gradient of greens. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to now clean the stamp and move it along to another section. And we'll stamp that all over again. And then I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz. And that's how that turned out. Really pretty. So I'm now going to take this away. I don't need the Stamparatus anymore. Coloured in the images very nicely. So I'm going to pop this away, and I'll just remove my sponge daubers carefully. All right. Now, bear with me for one moment, and I'm going to bring in my pencils and we'll start colouring in that beautiful image, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to colour all this in, and I'm going to be using my watercolour pencils. You can use whatever brand you have available. It doesn't matter. If you want to buy Stampin' Up watercolour pencils, you can. I'm using a different brand because that's what I have on hand. And that's it. I'm not going to grab any new ones either for the foreseeable future because these work perfectly fine. But it's up to you. Now, I'm going to grab a colour that is very similar to Calypso Coral. So this is what I do. I generally get colours that are very similar. I would say that would be quite similar, but I might go the darker version. And so what you'll see me do is you'll see me just using my watercolour pencil, and we're just going to do an overall colour on that, and then I'll zoom you in and we're going to put some music, okay? So just enjoy. so I've just finished now colouring in the flowers, and I thought the flowers and the leaves, so that's a close-up. I thought it was a good idea to just enhance these images a bit more, and I think it looks absolutely wonderful with that added touch. So I'm just going to put my pencils away, and what we will do is we're going to cut these out with the matching dies, and we're going to do all of our big shot work in one hit. So I'm just going to put all the dies on here and we'll get started. Okay, so I've just cut out all of these coloured die pieces, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut out the pineapple. This is a standalone die. Sorry, I can't speak right now. There's a standalone die or dies that make a pineapple, and I'm going to use that. Now, I cut that really off, but that doesn't matter. Take that to the side, and then I'm going to bring the platform back here, and I'm going to get a larger piece of cardstock. Okay, and we're going to cut out the two big pieces here. So we've got a piece of, that's for the leaves. I don't know where this came from. I'll put that back. That says Aloha, isn't that cute? And this bit here. So we're going to cut these out separately, obviously. And we're going to do some more ink blending with these because I like the really natural looking colours. Take out the thin die adapter in one of those plates. I'm going to bring my ink blended panel there with the big, with the corrugated folder. I'm going to pop that in there. And then I'll just crank that through. And then we are done with all of the die cutting. So I'll put this away. And now we've got that corrugated piece. Now this card's going to have a lot of texture, just warning you. All right, so that will go on top here. We'll have all of these flowers and leaves and things. I may not add in the end the pineapple, but I thought I'll cut it out and I'll see what happens. And if I'm not happy with this either, I'll do something else. So I'll get this out and I'll grab my pokey tool. What I'll do with these ones is I'm going to colour them. And so I'm going to use my craft sheet. I'll pop in this. I'll grab my brush and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. Then I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz, but I'll just clean that a little bit more. And then just add the Pear Pizzazz over the top. Whoops. So that looks really lovely. And I might go a little bit darker towards the edges as well. So that's that bit done. It goes very quickly when you use makeup brushes. And I've got some pineapple punch here, so I'll just quickly wipe this down. I'm going to use my pineapple punch. And then I'm going to use a little bit of crushed curry just to add a little bit of interest with it and make it two tones. And I'll grab now the crushed curry and I'll just dab it on. And now it looks like that. I quite like the way that turned out. Beautiful. So I'll just bring my card base. I'm going to have a little think about this background. I'm not sure if I'll end up using it actually. So I'll just see how this looks. I think I quite like that background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this for another project. In the meantime, I'm going to cut another panel. Then I'm going to use my corrugated folder and I'll put this through again. So I've just finished embossing this. So that looks really cool. Right, so I'm going to now stick that down. I like using liquid glue on especially really 3D embossed panels of paper because that way I ensure that it sticks down well. So I'll just put this down here. So it looks like that. Then I will grab, look how cool is this? These panels kind of stick out to really add some nice texture there. All right, so looks better like that to me. So I'll just add some glue. It's a beautiful bundle. It's the first time I've used it since I bought it. So that's yeah, interesting. One of the first sets that I put down, actually, once I became a demonstrator again, this is one of the first sets that I had to have, and it took me this long to ink it up, which is really bad. So make sure I put lots of glue here, and not the bits that I can stick up. So I'll pop that down there. Might use my pokey tool to stick that up. Okay. Now I'm just going to put my flowers down here. Okay, I'll put a bit of glue there. Down there. Pop this there. And then I'll put my frangipani flower up there. Like so. It's going to look super tropical now. And then we'll put this one down here like that. That looks really, really pretty. I might put that up like that too. Yep. So I'll just put a bit of glue down here. And that's my finished card for today. I hope you enjoyed this tropical looking beautiful card. I just love the look of the ink blended panels there with the die cuts. So if you don't have the colours or you want to add, you know, nice array of colours, this is a way of doing it, is just using your makeup brushes, or you can even use a sponge daubers and add colour. And I really love the way the flowers turned out with the sponge daubers. And I like the corrugated folder, it just adds a fun element to it. So if you're interested in purchasing any of these products, the Timeless Tropical Bundle is available now as a bundle, and you can get 10% off. And this is only whilst the catalogue is when it's first released from a catalogue. So if you want to purchase it with a special bundle price, now's the time to do it, because once this catalogue ends, which is on the 2nd of June, you'll not be able to buy it at that special 10% off. You will need to pay for them separately. So if I were you, I'd take advantage of the bundle, or you can buy them separately. It's up to you. And the corrugated folder is available as well through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. Hope you like the card and the dimension. Sorry I didn't end up using this in the end, but you can definitely use that for another project. So keep your eye out in the future, and I'll probably incorporate this panel in for another project. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, for subscribing to my channel. I hope you enjoy my tutorials. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave me a comment below, or you can contact me privately through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. If you have any friends that are interested in this video, please like, subscribe and share. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.